Well, welcome back to what will be part 2 of these giant chassis slash axle stands. See, last weekend we got them all welded up. Got a bit of spat to clean off some of them. Got some more welding gas if needed. But basically, in this episode now, I'll start getting these prepped for paint in a minute, so we can get these painted up, and then look at making some new sort of chassis cups to go on these. To go on the underside of Range Rover, and then some cups for the ramp to support the chassis as well. So I'm going to get these quickly cleaned up a minute, get the grease off the threads and the threads prepped for a bit of paint, and I'll see you in the booth. Right, that's all 4 stands in the booth, ready to go. Booth's a bit of a mess at the minute, not by me, but yes, booth's state, but either way, I'm not too brushed about these, so I'm not going to clean it up. I got here some old what was it, solvent based anti-corrosive primer. Now I brought this like 5 years ago to use on a few bits, and then I used it on one thing and it just didn't seem to dry. Well, it's meant to be quick dry, and yeah, so we'll try it again. It's just taken like a quarter of an hour to stir it back up again, hence the little DIY bit of threaded bar on a drill to do it, because it was just solid. But all good now, so we'll give that a quick try. Hopefully it works. It'd be rather annoying if it doesn't. So we'll crack on with that, and then on to actual paint. Okay, so a lot's changed. We've now got 2 coats of primer, which has actually gone on fairly well, and dried fairly quick, considering, well, the manufacturer state it should have a 12-hour time before it's recoated, and also you shouldn't thin it, but I thinned it because it was far too thick to spray anyway, and it's dried really well, so screw it, I'm not going to wait 12 hours, we'll just put it on and watch it react instead. Bearing in mind, I've never painted 2K, I've actually never painted anything over this paint. I took one of the Capri bumpers back to bare metal, put this over top of it to keep it, and then decided I didn't like the primer, so I took it back off again before I then done it in 2K and 2K satin on top of that. But also you may notice a few orange tints. That's because I also got onto these ones as well. So once again, using old paint. So this paint was about 7 years old. It's some of the first paint I ever brought in the workshop, actually, for painting the DIY 4-post ramp setup I had before. It's a beautiful orange colour, so quite nice stuff. So I just quickly gave these a bit of a wipe down, paint them because they come with hardly any paint on them, and they're a patchy yellow colour, and orange just looks so much cooler. So I've given them another treatment. They're all good now. They've had 2 coats, and I have been using this little one here. So I've got a availible GTI with an old, original GTI gravity fed, one of the first range ones, with a T110 air cap and a 1.3 fluid tip and nozzle, which I love, which is an excellent gun, but it's a bit sacrilege using that for just little things all the time. I'd rather just keep it there for when I need it on big projects and nice finishes. So I picked up a few of these. Now I have got a Clark gun, which is almost identical to this, branded Clark. It was like 35 quid a while ago, with 1.8 in it for primer, which I also quite like. It's done me well. So I saw these, and I was just browsing for Amazon, actually trying to find my brother a spray gun to buy, just a cheap thing for their little projects, and I happened to see this on the Amazon warehouse deals. 2 of them apparently, it's listed as used but like new, but they weren't, the boxes weren't even opened, and I paid like £6.40 per gun, so I brought 2 of them, even with a little regulator here, which works as well. And to be fair, 1.4mm tip for this kind of thing, it has been absolutely spot on. So I'm really impressed with 6 quid odd. It should be about, I think, like 17 quid or something like that. But yeah, I can't go wrong with that, so I've got 2 of them. So we'll keep using that. Now, as I said, I'm just going to overcoat them. Ignore the 12 hours thing. They've been, to be fair, they must have been there for an hour now, like that, so. To keep in fashion with the rest of this paint, I've got some old paint. Now, this is 2K. I mixed this up years ago. Oh, no, I'll see if I can turn the light on and see if you can see it. You might better see that now. Yeah. So I mixed this stuff up years ago to paint the Golf in, but then decided I didn't like it, not for the whole Golf anyway, so I've just got a load of 2K grey paint sitting on the shelf. The black is only about 6 years old. The white is probably in the region of 20 years old in it. So yeah, the spirit of these jacks will do them in old paint again. So I'm going to crack on, get these painted, watch them react, probably cry a bit and then do nothing from there on. I'll see you shortly. Well, that's them painted. Turned out pretty good. No reactions, so spot on. And I sort of mocked one up to show you. I would say they look pretty damn good for now. Yeah, not sure if you can see the paint or not. Well, I sort of went gung-ho with the paint. Didn't need to go too careful with it all. So, just lathered it all on. But nice bit of 2K. So, that's nice glossy finish. And that's going to be very durable as well. And free as well. Well, free as much as I had it to use up, so perfect. I'm pretty happy with that. Welcome back. So now's a new day. I haven't actually really touched these yet other than brought them out to spray booth and put the tops back in them again. But I would say they're looking adequate. They're certainly prettier than what you can buy for anywhere near the money, so that's a good start. Not that they need to be pretty, and it won't be long before I'm covered them in grinding bits, welding spatter, and underseal and what else I can do. But for now, they look pretty. So we're still yet to make adapters to go on top of these now. What I think I'm going to do is maybe cut up like an old car mat to make a rubber mat for this, so it can go straight up onto something flat. So for most things, perfect. Because you can't leave it metal, which is going to be a pain in the ass. So I think I'm going to make a plate which goes on here, just a rubber plate. Make something which is a axle kind of shape, because well, they are axle stands, and they would be quite handy for axle related bits. So maybe like an axle kind of adapter for it, and then make plates up to go on the bottom of the chassis where needed. The chassis ones being this main priority, because that's what they're going to be useful first. But before I can do that, we need to lift the Range Rover up. So ideally we need to make the proper adapters for the ramp, because yeah, there's no point in putting it up in the air until we get it up in the air properly, really. And they're the priority, because obviously lifting up the ramp safely is number one priority, and then we can make the stands work after that. So I got me M30 by meter length for that. It's 12.9 high tensile, so probably not needed, but it was only an extra couple of quid to go high tensile, so obviously I'm gonna do it. We got some zinc nuts. I'm not even sure what grade these are, to be fair. Not a clue. We got an 8 on them, so whether like a grade 8 or something. So we got some of these, and my plans being we're gonna weld the nut to the bottom bit of plate and then make some kind of chassis cup off of that. I thought that'd be better than just trying to weld the threaded bar to the plate, and there's a lot more to grip onto and a lot more to weld to as well. So I thought it was probably stronger and actually probably just as easy as well. So I'm going to do that, but we need to position the, well, I think I've got it positioned as much as I can as to where things will reach. Ideally that arm at the front of the ramp could do with being an extra foot longer, if so it'd be much easier, but it's not, so that's going to be a pain in the ass. We could probably reverse the Range Rover more onto the ramp and have it so it does fit easier, but we've already got, as you can kind of see there or not, the majority of the Range Rover hangs over the back. Obviously weight wise, a lot of the weight, axles, gearbox, transfer box in the middle there, and then obviously engine at the front. So the majority of the weight is still at the front, but no matter what, there's a hell of a lot of weight on that car. So I think it's probably, being the Vogue SE, it's probably about not much short of 2.1 tons. So I'm used to putting up cars on the ramp here at probably about between 1 and 1.3 maybe most of the time. So this is a tiny bit over, and it pushes the ramp really to the limit. There's The ramp's rated at 2.5 tons, but seeing as it's had a rough single phase to 3-phase conversion, obviously we've lost some horsepower at the motor because of that, so it can't quite lift the Range Rover right the way up. It'll lift it up about 1.2 metres, hence stands being about 1.2 metres at the bottom setting. So I think I can't position it much more backwards because it's going to be overhanging, and by the time I take the engine and gearbox out, then that's going to be a fair bit of weight off the front, so I don't want it to be going too rear end heavy from that. So I think I'm pretty happy with it here. I've lifted both the Range Rovers up on this position multiple times and it's been fine, so we'll just go with that, I think. Which is a bit of a pain in the ass. I'm not sure what you can see underneath here. I'm going to have to do most of this off camera because it's just going to be a pig. But what we're aiming to do is, I'll try and get it here if we can see. Beforehand I had the ramps just resting on that bit there, which you shouldn't do, so I'm going to need to make an adapter that comes off the end of the arm and up to that cup at the back there, but it won't currently reach. And then the rear here is pretty easy. All we're going to do is make a cup which goes onto a chassis there. So we want a cup to go around the chassis there, and that'll be spot on back there, nice and easy. And then we can have a good look at this thing. I've just found a bit more corrosion on the seam there. So I'm going to crack on that now. There's no point me dragging you under here too much for that. I'll just make some cups and go from there. Right, well that's these ones are made, and nothing too special. They were galv, as you might have seen by the video if you were watching the video, if I put the video on. Well, I knew they're galv, but they were very, very well galved, to the point where once I ground the back, it still wasn't enough, so I had to do 2 to 3 passes of welder to get the burn clean. But it's worked, and it's strong as fuck, so that's fine. Now I've just made, these are different to what I want to make them, but it's the only option in the end. So we've got these little things here. I'm not sure the camera will focus. Again, but these weren't galv, so just had to burn through zinc coating on the nut. Obviously mild was nice and easy to weld. So I'll quickly paint them up in a second. But these are designed to go... hang on. So the other cup shape easy, there for the chassis. The front was not as easy, and I haven't got any options without being able to extend this arm on the ramp, which I haven't got the steel for. My option in the end was make this angled piece, set up in it like that, probably put a rubber pad on it, and then the Range Rover will be lifted from this point. Now I know obviously it's not a proper lifting point, it's not a chassis, but it's plenty strong enough. It can't go anywhere. If anything, this is just as safe as a chassis way. It literally can't go anywhere. My only concern is it wanting to slip up a bit. Not like it's a big issue, because obviously both sides are holding the same. It can't go anywhere, so it can't really slip much. But I might either weld something onto Range Rover as little stops, just so they definitely can't slip, or I might also put a rubber pad on it. I'm not sure yet. So I'll get these finished up, I'll get them on the ramp, and then I think we can test them out. Well, all 4 bases, or pads, or adapters are all on the ramp now. Ideally, the front ones could do it a bit longer, but I've shortened the rear ones a bit to compensate for it. So, I've wind up-ish, see what happens. If the Range Rover comes crashing down, then, yeah, let's see. There's a few voltage issues out there, and obviously something's on which is causing the ramp to have a slightly lower voltage, and that won't want to go up any higher than that. She's in the air. Problem being, although these are already bent before, not quite long enough. It's still touching the side steps. So the side steps are going to come off, or it's restoration anyway. But future-wise, it's not ideal. Cut it a tiny bit too short. Rear's fine if I put it back up, but she's in the air. Wouldn't go in the air because of the compressors on next door. Turn the compressor off, which is all good now. So underneath here, then what have we got? I'm not dead yet, so that's a good start. We've got it sitting on a chassis cup there, which obviously compared to a pad before on there, dodgy. That's not going anywhere now. That's decent. I could always bring it back to the flat section if I want to. I was just trying to extend it out. If I'd allowed in my measurements for the fact that obviously the arms will slightly bend, then I could have cut them up to the right length. Oh well, too late now. And then for the front, we've got the bar sitting in here, and then them little pads set up there on that one, which is also working perfect. A lot of surface corrosion under here, but nothing too major. Big stainless centre box there. One hell of a box. That needs to go. So yeah, I think to be fair, that one's come over a touch on that one there, so that needs to, well, when it's on the axle stands it doesn't matter, because the ramp can drop down off them. And we can adjust this, so I guess now we'll just see if the axle stands work, or if they at least line up. That'd be a good start. I think they're about equal, so let's lower it down. Ooh. Moment of truth now. So first off, how stable is it on the ramp? Yeah, actually fairly stable, partly because it's resting on the arms. But yeah, more stable than I thought it was. Let's go. Is that one we hit? That one up on it. Make it as even as possible. Alright. There we go. She's on the stands. Right, how? Oh, bloody hell, that's good. That's solid on there. Wow. Big success. I'm going to say very big success here. It's like a proud father moment, but we stand. So obviously I was going to build chassis cups for these. I might still do. Depends. Although there's not any actually where to come off nicely there. I could have some bars going up either side, but they'd have to be fitting in between these bits. So no, I can go anywhere because it's all solid. I can come off here. Yeah, absolutely solid. What back here then? Yep. That is worked very well. The only problem here on this side is I've got the fuel tanks a bit too close, so he sits a bit off centre there. Not that that really matters, but it'd be nicer if it did sit central, so I might lop the side off one of these just so it fits in tighter. Corrosion. No. Well, I don't think there's any point showing me making the other pads, so that's probably going to wrap this video up. That's one very happy Jordan with that. I think these come out overall really damn well for a DIY attempt. It seems absolutely plenty strong enough. Obviously they got more contact on the ground than the tyres do themselves. So that I am pretty damn happy with. Right, well, after that, great success, I think. We'll find out. Later on in the Range Rover series, if it falls to the ground, then I know it was a fail. If it doesn't, great success. I say these cost around, must have been very close to 300 Great British pounds in the end to make, which is the exact same price as what the other site I found. The acrow props come in at £120, 117, something like that I think it is for the 4 acrow props. And then I spent a further 150 quid on steel, plus then a bit, you know, welding gasket, welding wire, some paint, that kind of stuff. So it come in at about 300 quid for the whole lot, which, considering them flimsy, horrible looking ones were also 300 quid. I know they haven't taken this much labour to do it build, but this is something that's going to last and is so much better. So much better. I got to make a video or two out of it, so it could be worse. But yeah, if you happen to want to see more videos like this, there'll probably be some more in the future. If you want to see any videos on the Range Rover, for those who haven't seen it and made it this far through the videos, it's a 1991 3.9 Rover V8, which was originally a Buick V8 many years ago for the Americans. And it's not just a standard Rover V8, it's a Turbo Technics one, so a very rare one. Single turbo, just makes it go and sound that much better. Needs a lot of work, so we've got plenty coming up on this. We've got probably none coming up on the Golf for a while, and bits and bobs on the Capri, and hopefully maybe a Scirocco build coming up. But yeah, I think after that, success. I need to take side steps off because they're in the way and they're all rust and rotten anyway, so they're just going to have to go. And yeah, very, very pleased with that. Handsome. Well, up in Jordan. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, then why not actually like it? That's great. Leave me a comment in the description. Tell me if you think I've cocked up here and these aren't going to last. Tell me if you think they're alright. Always happy to hear it. Any kind of criticism, whether it's good, bad, or any feedback, whatever. Always happy to hear it. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Share this around. It always helps the channel out. Makes me get on my ass to make some more content. So yeah, see you next time. Cheers.